everyone, and today I have some exciting news for you. This morning at 6 a.m. Russian Telegram channels reported explosions on the Crimean bridge. The so-called head of the annexed Crimea, Sergei Aksyonov, announced on Telegram that an extraordinary event occurred near the 145 support of the Crimean bridge, resulting in the suspension of traffic on the bridge. He urged people to refrain from traveling through the Crimean bridge and to choose an alternative overland route through the temporarily occupied Donetsk, Zaporizhia and Kherson regions for safety purposes. Meanwhile, the Russian Ministry of Transport denied the information about damage of the supports of the Crimean bridge and stated that the road surface on the bridge span from the Crimean side was damaged. A Russian Telegram channel published photos of the incidents, indicated that one span was destroyed and another was damaged. Currently, there is no official information about the causes of the destruction. But pro-Kremlin channels claim that the armed forces of Ukraine launched two strikes on the bridge at 3 o'clock and 4 minutes and 3:20 Moscow time. The publication RBC Ukraine reported, citing sources in the security service of Ukraine, that the nighttime attack on the Crimean bridge was a special operation conducted by the naval forces of the Ukrainian armed forces and the security service of Ukraine. The bridge was attacked using surface drones. It was challenging to reach the bridge, but eventually it was accomplished, a source told the publication. Preliminary photos indicate at least two significant breaches in the road surface of the Crimean bridge. And friends, please write in the comments if you are happy about such actions by the Ukrainian armed forces. Additionally, it is reported that the crossing has also stopped working, causing maximum disruption to traffic. It seems that we should now expect new statements from the Russians that they need to strike at decision-making centers. And however, as you understand, such developments lead the Ukrainian armed forces to weaken Russian groupings in the south and to quickly liberate Ukrainian territory. These strikes were most likely carried out with long-range missiles that were transferred to the Ukrainian armed forces, and as it can be seen, no defense helped the Russians. That was to be expected from modern rockets. Russian air defense is unable to counter them. And what do you think about this? Write your thoughts in the comments. And also don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. And now let's move on to the overview of the events on the front lines. Despite all the difficulties in liberating Ukrainian territory from the occupiers, the Ukrainian armed forces are gradually advancing and destroying a significant amount of enemy equipment and manpower, weakening the Russian army. The Ukrainian armed forces are progressing and gradually pushing the Russians out of their positions, occupying more advantaged positions. This refers to the Vuhledar direction. It is reported that the Ukrainian armed forces have entered Staromykhailivka and are attempting to consolidate their positions. Later, a message from the General Staff confirmed that the Ukrainian armed forces now control the northern part of the settlement. Therefore, the advancement of the Ukrainian armed forces in this area announced to approximately 800 meters. Hanna Mahler also stated that in the past week, as a result of the offensive actions, nearly 18 square kilometers have been liberated, and I believe that this is a very good result. The occupiers in turn continue to shell Vuhledar and engage in local battles, and the situation is quite challenging. In the Zaporizhia direction, it is also reported that the Ukrainian armed forces are moving in the area of Kamyansk along the M18 highway, and there is a possibility that they will break through the enemy's defense in this direction. This is because there is a reservoir on one side and no enemy position there, making it slightly easier to break through. And the road through Vasilievka leads to Enerhodar, so the progress in this direction plays an important role in liberating the occupied territory. Therefore, we are waiting to see if the Ukrainian armed forces will be able to expand the controlled territory in this area. As the counteroffensive began, there was already a breakthrough, and 3 settlements were immediately liberated. Additionally, interesting information is emerging on the internet once again, confirming that the Russians couldn't care less about moral norms or anything else. The residents of temporarily occupied territories in the Zaporizhia region who are entitled to free or discounted medication cannot obtain them without a Russian passport. Specifically, the occupiers demand a Russian passport from patients who are entitled to insulin, thyroid hormone, and other medication. Thus, the Russians take advantage of the vulnerable situation of the local residents to force them to obtain a Russian ID. And in the area of Pervomaisk and around Avdiivka, shelling continues. Attacks by the occupiers, both with manpower and equipment, also persist in Mariinka and Novomykhailivka, but the front line remains unchanged over the past day. In the Bakhmut direction, the Ukrainian armed forces are successful and gradually advancing further. Of course, everyone would like to see greater progress, such as advancing 10 kilometers per day, but unfortunately, the war has reached a level where both sides are heavily armed, and each side is preparing to repel attacks. And therefore, progress is slow and challenging, but the Ukrainian armed forces are succeeding. In the Kurdyumivka area, official confirmation of progress hasn't yet been received, but the Ukrainian armed forces report that they are making progress. Therefore, we await official statements and map updates. In the Siversk direction, the occupiers continue their attacks towards Vesela, with a high number of shelling incidents, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Crimean direction, the occupiers are shelling, but no offensive actions have been reported for some time, and the front line also remains unchanged. In the direction of Svatovo, the occupiers continue periodic advances in the Novoselivka area, changing directions. The attacks haven't ceased, with shelling of the territory just before the offensive actions, but the Ukrainian armed forces maintain their defense and the front line remains unchanged. In the Dvorichna area, the occupiers continue shelling, but no offensive actions have been observed for a long time. Meanwhile, in Belarus, around 11 a.m. on July 17th, another large column of Russian PMC Wagner mercenaries was spotted heading towards a tent camp in the village of Tsel. It is noted that the vehicles are moving with Russian flags and Wagner PMC symbols. According to reports, this is at least the third column of mercenaries that has arrived in Belarus since July 11th. One of the columns was reported on July 15th, and observers believe that the mercenaries are moving to a field camp in the village of Tsel, as they have done in previous days. And President Volodymyr Zelensky, in his Twitter statement, expressed that Ukraine honors the memory of the victims of the Amsterdam-Kuala Lumpur flight of Malaysian Airlines, which was shot down by Russian-controlled Donetsk militants using a Russian Buk missile on July 17, 2014. Our thoughts and hearts are with the families and loved ones of each and every one of the 298 victims. This tragedy caused by the aggressor will never be forgotten, the president stated. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time.